How's everyone doing tonight? All right. Ever since the day David told me he was going to marry Danielle, I have struggled with this one question. How exactly am I going to get up there and toast Dave? So many ways I can go. After being around Dave for the last 28 years of my life, I've noticed one trend. He's constantly trying to reinvent himself. Growing up in probably one of the most athletic houses in Beechwood, David had a lot to live up to. Garson family had a full gym in their basement. Judy's trophies and accomplishments proudly displayed wall to wall. Glenn, JCC basketball court, he was an absolute beast, and probably going down as one of the best basketball players in JCC history. And adding to that, all the trophies from Hawthorne racked up. Mikey, Becky, both selling their own sports as well. Dave, after a few months of protein shakes, cut-off teas, and curls, Dave struggled to find his place in the Garson family legacy of pristine physical fitness. The pressure was too much for Dave to handle, and this physical fitness phase quickly turned from protein shakes and cut-offs to Cheetos and turtlenecks. Moving on. It was the summer of 2001, and Dave was a proud employee of Cutco Knives. With my mom as his first customer, Dave confidently walked into my kitchen, took his Cutco knives, and did things to a penny I never knew were even possible. Dave took his knife, carved a penny into a corkscrew, popped a bottle of wine for my mom, poured her a glass, and then walked away. My mom was either blown away by Dave's magician-like skill or felt really bad for the fact that he was peddling knives in Beechwood. Regardless, she ended up buying 3 cases and salesman Dave was born. After moving to Chicago, the phases kept on going. His trying to lose weight phase where he transformed our entire kitchen into a Weight Watchers infomercial. His parking salesman phase, where he sold parking spaces throughout downtown Chicago, declaring himself the parking king of Chicago. And his cleaning company phase, where he was peddling a bunch of Polish cleaning ladies door to door throughout Chicago for a company called Sweep Home Chicago. The phases were endless and exhausting. Then, one day in the summer of '08, or I think it was '07, sorry. Dave came to me with another one of his wild ideas. Dave and I were strolling around the city, and he looked at me with an infectious accent of his and said, "Hey, Klein, did you hear that Danielle Liftman and Nicole Arnstein are moving to Chicago?" "No, Dave, I didn't know that." "Yeah, I'm pumped. What do you think of Danielle? I think I'm going to try and make a move." I look at Dave, exhausted from the thousands of ideas I've heard in my entire life, and sarcastically said, "Sure, Dave, go get her, Casanova." The first night David and Danielle made their relationship official was the first night that I knew this was more than just another wild idea. It was New Year's Eve, and I could tell it was a special night for Dave, and then I could tell it was a special night for Dave, and he wanted to put his best foot forward. Dave nervously approached me and said, "Hey, Klein, you mind lending me that purple tie of yours?" "Sure, Dave, no problem. And I'm going to need you to tie me a big knot." "I want it big, Klein." Sure, there he is, a 24-year-old kid who had no idea how to tie a tie. Ryan had pre-tied all of his ties before he moved to Chicago. After a great night, we all came back to the house for an after party. And being that it was New Year's Eve, our shirts are undone, ties are off, and Dave, still dressed to the nines to impress his lady, big knot still in place. And at that moment, I knew Danielle was just more than another wild idea. Dave had fallen and fallen hard. So in conclusion, with David, yes, I make fun of his crazy ideas. Yes, I make fun of his infectious accent. And yes, I make fun of his weight fluctuation.
Good thing it's down
But
tonight.
deep down, I do love this kid, and I've loved growing up with him, especially spending these last 7 years in Chicago with him. Danielle, it is impossible to be bored with this kid, so all I can say is have fun. I love you both, and couldn't be happier for both of you.